Okay, now it's time to discuss about the unmatched route and active state and navigation. So basically, we will discuss about the soft navigation, hard navigation, and default JS. So let's see what we have made. We have made in the previous video, we have see up to that place, and we have 4 slots. This is number 1 slot, this is number child slot, this is number 2, this is number 3, this is number 4, this is number 5. We have 5 slots. So I am creating sub pages for this sidebar, okay, not for anything else, only for sub page. So let's go. So I have the overview setting. You see, this is the setting page. Analysis, this is the analysis page, and we can overview, and you see nothing is changing. Only among these 5 slots, only this slot is changing. Only this slot is changing, nothing else. Not this is, not this, not this, not this. Only this is changing, as I have the sub page over here, but I have no sub page anywhere. Not here, not here, not here, not here. So only this is changing. Okay. So the problem is, say, I can change and navigate in between, and only the change in this is changing, nothing else, and our page is not reloading. Notice these things, tiny differences. Page is not reloading, nothing is reloading, only this slot is reloading. Okay, only this slot is changing, nothing else. So what is saying over here? So active state and navigation. By default, Next.js keep track of the active state or sub pages. So they're keeping on eye these sub pages. Okay, this is the sub pages. Okay, for each slot. However, the content rendered within a slot will depend on the type of navigation. Soft navigation. During client-side navigation, Next.js will perform partial rendering. So it's partial rendering, not full. This portion is rendering. Okay, partial rendering. Changing the subpage within the slot while maintaining the other slot's active subpage, even if they don't match the current URL. So while maintaining the other slot's active subpage, even though they are not match the URL, so they are not changing. Only this portion is changing, and no problem is taking place. But problem is taking place when hard navigation. After full page load, browser refresh, Next.js cannot determine the active state for the slot and not match the current URL. Instead, it will render a default JS page for the unmatched slots or 404 if default page does not exist. What it is saying that we have no default page in our entire system. I am cloning mirroring the complex dashboard 2 to keep it intact, but these files are same. Okay, we have no default page in any slots, not in the child slot, not sidebar slot, not content slot, not bottom panel slots, no slot. So right now we are in the setting page. So be careful over here. We are in the setting page. So only this portion is matching these routes. Only this portion is matching these routes, but not this portion, not this portion, not this portion. They are unmatched. They are becoming unmatched because setting is connected with this portion and this portion, not this one, not this one. They are becoming unmatched. Only this is matched. Okay, this is matched. So if I reload, then it gives 404. So can you remember? It will give 404 error as we have no default page. So I am creating default page to avoid 404 error. Okay. So create default page first of all for child slot. So this root is the child slot. Okay, create a default .tsx. Default is built in, that's why it's getting error. Okay, this is default for child slot. Okay, but if I declare 1, will it do? No, still it will give us 404 error. Again, I am going dashboard, going to setting or analysis. As analytics is matching with this route, but the rest of the slots are becoming unmatched. That's why it will give you 404 error. 404 error. Okay, so only on will not do. You have to declare default for every pages. Say sidebar default.tsx, and I am declaring here this is default for sidebar slot. Okay, then analytics default is default for analytics slot. Slot 'setting analytics content, or not for content. No, default is not needed over here as it has the matching. Okay, but we need for rest of the things. Say for bottom default or I can copy paste. This is for bottom panel slot and top panel default .tsx. Oh, sorry, I can copy paste. This is for top panel slot. So if I declare for 4 out of 5, it will do, I think. You see, or I am coming here. So I have the matching for this one, but this is unmatched, this is unmatched, this is unmatched. So for unmatched, you have to declare default, otherwise it will give 4 error. So let's make sure once again we have default, we have bottom content, this is matched, so sidebar analytics settings, sidebar default for child, it has the default. So I think this time it will not give unmatched. So I am going to setting page, still 404 error, because maybe let's check once again. Default content resetting page, default. Let's declare content for content. content slot. So let's go setting, analytics, overview. If I go setting and reload, still 404. Basically there is a spelling mistake, some with a typo. Default, this is okay. Default, there is a problem. Default, this is okay. Default, this is okay. I think this time it's okay. Oh, okay. So you see, when I am going once again, so I have the setting, analysis, overview, it's working, but I go setting and hard reload. So this time we are not saying 404 error. Instead, we are getting default page. You see, default, and default. Okay, and this is actually saying over here, hard error. After full page load, browser refresh, Next.js cannot determine the active state of the slot that don't match the current URL. Instead, it will render a default file. But you have to provide default page for every slot. For unmatched, I mean, this is unmatched, this is matched, this is unmatched, this is unmatched. For every, this is unmatched. For every unmatched slot, you have to provide default. Otherwise it will give 404 error. Okay, actually it is saying that. Okay, and you see this is the default page for every. Only matching, if you don't provide default for matching, it will not create any problem. But if you don't provide default for unmatched, it will give 404 error. So this is say this is unmatched. So this is unmatched, means unmatched. Okay, this is unmatched, this is unmatched, this is unmatched, only this is matched. So if you don't provide default for that, it will not create any problem. But if you don't provide default for this unmatched portion, it will give 404 error. Okay, so it's giving 404 error, but rest of the things are okay. Only this is matched. So setting is matched for this portion. Okay, so this portion, sorry, this is unmatched, this is matched. Okay, so if you don't provide default, it will not create any problem. But everywhere you have to provide default. You have to provide default over here, default over here, default over here, default over here. Otherwise it will give 404 error. Only this is matched. If you don't provide a default over here, it will not create any problem because this is matched. It will create problem for unmatched routes. Okay, so you see settings, if I hard reload, you see this is unmatched, this is unmatched, this is unmatched, and this is unmatched. That's why as a fallback they're getting the default page, and this is matched. That's why we don't need any default page. If you remove the default from content, it will not create any problem. I'm removing default. Let's reload once again. So rest of the things, it is child slot, it's getting default. This is top slot, it is getting default. This is sidebar slot, it is getting default. This is bottom slot, it is getting default, but these are intact. So that's why I'm telling that this is unmatched, this is unmatched, this is unmatched, this is unmatched. For unmatched, you have to provide default. Okay, otherwise it will create problem. You have to provide default for that, for that, for that. Okay, but here no default. Okay, so this is default, this is default, this is default, this is default, and no default, as it has the matched, as it has the matched. Okay, I hope that will make sense, and if you don't understand, let me know. I will make you understand once again. Thank you very much. If you like the video, please like, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned, stay connected. Thank you very much. Sorry, I have forgotten to say you one thing. If you wanna create sub page, so I have created sub page inside content. Okay, so here is the sub page. Okay, so you need to go over here. You see the content. This is analytics, and you have to create a folder, and inside that you have create a page, setting page. Okay, remember it carefully, otherwise it will not work. You don't give any at over here, as it is not slot, it is the page. So you have to create page which you are instructed to create page like that way. Okay, how we are creating page in Next.js. So you have to create page over here, and you need to connect it. Say sidebar page, connect it over here. So if is it active, you see this is the link, and it will navigate to complete dashboard to settings, complex dashboard to analytics. Okay, you have to do two things for creating sub page. For this portion we are navigating, for this slot, for this link. Okay, and you have to create page the way Next.js is instructed you to create the page. To create folder, and inside that you have to create page. Follow the convention, otherwise it will not work. Thank you very much. A little bit announcement. You can get a tremendous and superb course. This is my course. MERN stack, Typescript, Ecommerce, Docker, RTKquery, and along with deploy. It's a nice and huge course. So its price is $44, but I can give you, for my students, I can give it only $9. Okay, so it will last for 5 days, but you will get $9. If the course is needed, you can contact with me, just $9.99. Okay, so it's a super course, tremendous course. So you will able to learn a lot of things. You will get TypeScript, e-commerce, Docker, RTK query, and deployment. So it is built on React 9.18, Node.js 20, and role-based automatic redirect. So I will give the discount link and coupon code and course link in the description box. You can come and check, and don't hesitate to grab the course. Thank you very much.